welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I'm your host, John Harris, and today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have Junction 28, not 25, Junction 28. You turn at 25, you'll end up at the wrong farm, okay? So anyway, Junction 28. Uh-oh, Craig's frozen on a face he doesn't want to have frozen on. It's a good.
Looks like a good face from here.
Yeah, it is a good face. It's a top quality face. So we got Junction 28. They have a new EP called Before You Drown. And right now I'm being joined by Craig and Kit to share some more information about this stellar release, why they don't want to say things, why they're suffocating, what you're supposed to do before you drown, in that moment where you know, I'm going to drown. So boys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
You are quite welcome. Actually, while we're frozen, we'll take a moment to say that as a chef, I work at a culinary school. I love your kitchen. Is that a gas range? What's going on with there?
So we've got gas on top, and electric underneath. It's a bit small for my liking. I would like a bigger kitchen because I love cooking.
Okay. Are you a culinarian as well, or just like a foodie?
I'm a foodie, but I do love cooking. I love flavors, and I love to try different spices from different continents.
Mm-hmm. Fan-freaking-tastic. What did you make for dinner last night, Craig?
What did I cook? I can't remember. We had a gig last night. I know that. I can't remember. But I did do pulled pork with a Texas-style pulled pork tonight with Mexican rice.
Okay. Which, some people might thinking, Texas-style pulled pork and Mexican rice, you're crossing streams, but that actually makes a lot of sense considering that those...
Tex-Mex.
Yeah, Tex-Mex, baby.
Tex-Mex in pizza.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay, everybody comment down below who's probably upset that we're not talking about the band, but we're talking about food and you're now hungry. What's your favorite Tex-Mex digs? Do you like Tex-Mex? Some people get offended by Tex-Mex. They're like, that's not real stuff. I don't know. Is it real? Don't say. Whatever you do, don't say.
It's a myth.
It is a myth. Cool. So, awesome home kitchens. We actually just bought a house we're going to move into that has a bigger kitchen. I thought it was too big. I was like, what am I supposed to do with all this space? So sort of sports team with the family or something. But cool. Take us through this EP, Before You Drown. What's going on with it? Lyrically, is there a theme? Musically, what did you guys set out to do?
Kit?
Yeah, so kind of the whole project came about maybe sort of just before lockdown, but it was really during in that period last year when we were all kind of stuck in our homes that the whole thing started to really form. It came together a lot from both like our own kind of feelings around what was going on at the time, sort of being stuck inside, being disconnected from everyone else. And then it was a lot to do with as well on the music side. We wanted to bring in a lot of these electronic elements as well. So that all kind of formed together into eventually what you hear on the EP.
Okay. Whoa. How do we get it here? This is cool. I like it. We could work with it. We could dig it. So everybody who's watching in right now probably just noticed that we just randomly switched over to a together mode group chat.
Oh, so that's my fault. The cameras stopped working. I couldn't see anyone. So I've never used Skype. I apologize.
It's okay. I wonder what else we could do. Let's see if we can get onto an airplane. Can we? Oh, we're on an airplane, guys. This is cool. I'm having fun with this. This might be a nightmare to edit, but I'm having fun. And I think that's the important thing, is to have fun. Okay, so you were chatting about this was it beginning of pandemic, you guys started working on this one, and did that change the way you guys wrote stuff? Take me through that.
Absolutely. So originally before lockdown, we were kind of like a classic rock, hard rock band, and there were a lot of bands doing that on the local circuit. And we wanted to do something that we'd never done before. We'd never used electronics. And the writing style was completely different to what we had done before. But Kit had some kind of electronic experience in the past, and he had a little setup. So it was like, okay, let's see what happens, because he was originally the guitarist. So we ended up We wrote one song, didn't we? To start off with.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, yeah, and then we sort of put it forward to the band and said, look, this is the direction we think we should go in, and it was trying to get the mentality working within the band on how we adapt that and how we work with that. And the best way to describe it, I turned around and said, just think of it as another guitar, that's all you got to imagine it is, and we tried it. I think we actually nailed it pretty much. I think when we did like the first run, everyone was like, okay, yeah, this is going to work.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I think sometimes as musicians, we start thinking about instruments as their own little world. Like, I don't know, it's a trumpet. It's not a guitar, or it's a keyboard. That's not an elephant. But from an audio engineering perspective, it's just this frequency range to that frequency range, and what does it do in that frequency range. So yeah, just different ways of expressing mid-range, basically. Did you guys take a good deal of time to try and work out the electronics? Like, how did you know you had the sound? Like, was it a sample pack where you're like, there it is, we got it?
Sort of kind of came together from just kind of experimenting with, a lot of it was me, sample packs were a big part of it. I'm a big fan of like synthwave music as well, so sort of experimenting with just different synth sounds and what we could get out of like some of the analog gear that I have was a big part of it. And sort of combining those and then seeing how they fit in with the other instruments. So, for example, we don't use a lot of drum machines or stuff like that because we really want the drum sounds to be as instrumental as possible, while as we do try and sort of combine like pads and the synth and the sample in with the guitar parts and the vocals.
Okay. Yeah, the funny thing is, when you mentioned that you guys were originally, what was like a hard rock, classic rock kind of thing? I was like, man, you guys sure took a different turn at Junction 28.
Do you know what the funny thing is? Because last night we had our first gig, and it's the first time we actually performed the new songs, and it was really well received. And there were lots of people that have known us for years but haven't actually heard the new stuff, and everyone was coming up to us after and just gone, "Wow, we did not expect that." It just blew their minds because it's completely different to what's being done on the local scene. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised actually, and it's the first time Kit had actually used his electronics live, and Gary, our guitarist, it was his first gig in about 8 years, I think, as well. So it was a nice welcome. But we had people coming from other counties to come and watch us, and we just couldn't believe it. Since the EP's come out, it's just kind of gone a bit crazy.
Take us through that. It's gone a bit crazy. How does that feel? I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Will you try something and the feedback loop is positive? There's a word for that for some reason I'm going blank on. Confirmation? Did it confirm what you guys were trying?
It definitely backed our belief in what we wanted to do. Because the whole point of the electronic side is that we wanted to create an atmosphere in the songs. So it wasn't just a case of having a sample in there just for having the sample. The producer that we worked with, Oz Crakes, he turned around and said when he produced the album, the EP with us, that every element that's in there on the synth is there for a reason, and it's not just there for filler. And that was one of the things we wanted the songs to be on. We want the songs for people to feel like they're on an emotional roller coaster, and then not just be raw guitars, bass, and drums whacking away. We haven't got an orchestra to capture that. We're going to bring this, to 2021 and using what we've got. And I think we've captured it really well. I think Kit's done an amazing job, especially because we've only been doing it for about a year now. Okay,
very cool. You also mentioned playing some gigs, which how's that going?
So last night was our first one. We are in talks of doing a live one for a recording studio next month, but at the moment we haven't really got much booked in. It's a bit hard at the moment in the UK. It's gradually building, But the demand at the moment, and with everyone being kind of scared of what's going on, it's very hard. Because the plan was we were supposed to have done a European tour. A UK tour, European, that'd be lovely. A UK tour back in July, but the venues weren't open, so it kind of put down on everything. But as a positive side, it kind of gave us the opportunity to get the songs out there and for people to hear them, because as I said, we had people coming from different counties to watch us last night, and they were singing our songs back to us, and we it was just like, what is going on? You know,
It's mind-blowing.
Last year it was just like, oh yeah, we're just playing to our friends. Now this year we've got people traveling to see us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people are starving for it. And I guess everybody just wants to know that they're safe. And my understanding is in the UK, you guys have a passport program. So therefore, you felt comfortable playing. Everybody felt comfortable being there.
Well, I'm pretty sure I saw someone like passing out or something, but I think that might have just been from the drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were having a good time. That's the main thing.
Yeah. That happened here quite a bit. We decided, or I don't know if I guess you should say we, I don't know. Democracy at its finest. Our provincial government is just anyway, another story. So we're on the verge of collapse now because they decided to open everything up in the summer, and the rest of us with a brain who didn't vote these people in but have to sit here and watch it, we're like, that's going to cause us a lot of problems by the time September rolls around. And sure enough, now the military has to come in and save us. No joke. But as people were having fun, they were getting completely obliterated outside of nightclubs. And I'm just not that kind of person. So I just didn't understand, like, how much money did you spend tonight, sir, to be completely obliterated up face down in the gutter right now? But evidently people are starving for some entertainment. So thank you for, being a part of the safe entertainment.
We're trying.
They're trying. Yeah. Cool. And then in other news, this is random, but I just came across my desk. So several years ago, about 10 years ago, we had this Canadian retailer called Zellers, and Target, the American company Target, came in, bought them out, failed miserably. Apparently, Zellers is coming back. So every bit of me is super excited right now. I just wanted to say that out loud. I'm also excited to be with you guys. So, Suffocate and Before You Drown. Not necessarily related, because obviously if you're drowning, it's not suffocating, but there seems to be a bit of breathing issues I'm seeing here. Is that pandemic related?
Yeah. No, I'm asthmatic.
Oh, okay.
No. No. So a lot of it, the EP is to do with mental health issues and different aspects within mental health problems. Suffocate is... it's basically sort of being controlled, manipulated, and made to feel like you're worthless, and realizing that it's up to you to sort of stand up, because not everyone's going to be there to help you. The title of the EP, Before You Drown, is actually the last track, the last line in the EP from the song called Walls, which is about living with somebody who has mental health issues and trying to help them, but the effect that has on oneself, because as much as you want to help them and you're trying to help them, you're not getting anywhere, and that has an impact on other people. And having experienced it, and people that I spoke to that have been on both sides, I thought this was something that needed to be made aware, because a lot of things get made aware about depression and how to help people, how to deal with having depression. But what about the people that are trying to help those people that are stuck, and it's slowly bringing them into it? Mm-hmm. It's a very very close to home type of song. And as I said, there's other people that I've spoke to, and I listened to their stories, and I wanted that to come in, and I kind of wanted it to be kind of an uplifting song towards the end, so people know, you need to reach out, you're not in this alone.
Yeah.
Well, we'll help you, Yeah.
Which the artwork cleverly shows somebody reaching out.
Yeah. found some images online and sort of pimped them out. Royalty free, just saying. And it was trying to find the right image as well that sort of captures the new sound of Junction 28 as well as the theme. That's what I wanted it to portray.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you brought up something very interesting. Trying to help somebody in a very dark time, working through their issues. Well, what about you? And almost like the question I wrote down is, are you allowed to say almost selfishly, like, this is whatever it is, draining me. This is difficult. This is hard. This is feeling impossible.
Yeah. So actually Walls on the second verse, it's pretty much, that's what that's about. So the first one is like, I want to help you and I want to get close to you, but I'm struggling. And then the second verse is like, I think we need some time apart because I need some time to reflect on what's going on. And as much as I'm trying to help you, you're affecting me. And that's what the second verse is about. And then like the breakdown and the ending is like, come on, we'll do this together. It's starting to impact me and I don't want to be in this place. And I want you there beside me. So let's do this together.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question is, what did you end up doing? What would be your advice to people who are in that situation right now or have been in that situation?
Sometimes it's very hard to talk to the people that you love and that want to help you. Sometimes you shouldn't be afraid. Go to the doctors. They will get you. There's counsellors out there and they do a wonderful job. It happened here within my house. It's happened with a member of the band. It's happened with someone I work with, and they're all in much better places for doing that. And as hard as it is to just say to the doctors or call up and it may take an hour to get through to the doctors, but there are other helplines there that can say, that for people that are struggling.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, that's good to hear. Definitely something that's made a way to its forefront through the whole what have you is, at least what we're referring to here is mental health injuries is, I believe, the new terminology. Mental health injuries.
That's new to me.
Yeah, I read that in the paper the other day, that mental health injuries are on the rise.
I guess that makes sense, yeah. And especially with people being locked in, you can go crazy. I started to go crazy. And, with the band, we're like a family. So we were seeing each other every week. And it wasn't just for rehearsals or for band-related stuff. We would hang out. We're very social people. And it was just getting to the stage where I'm like, I need to get out of these four walls because I was working from home. I would get up, I'd go to the end of my bed, there's my desk. And that would be my day. As soon as I'm finished, go downstairs, have dinner, go to bed, repeat. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to sound crazy. One of the things that actually did help me was my Oculus Quest 2, the VR headset, because it got me out of my four walls and I was talking to people and just having fun. It's just general gaming, and it had stuff on there that I could do with my fiance. I got her sort of involved in some of it, and she fell pregnant during the time as well, so we had that to deal with. And just sort of like the whole pregnancy thing was hard enough because I wasn't allowed in the hospital, and the only time I was allowed into the hospital was like 2 hours a day to actually be there with her and the baby, because the baby was in intensive care and they was in there for a week. So yeah, I think now things are starting to get a bit back to normal. We're certainly feeling better within ourselves, and we're socializing again, which is great. And yeah, there's still stuff out there that we still need to be careful, and the people that don't care. But, all we can do is try and protect ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody out there, we've got to work on protecting ourselves. Cool. So today we chatted about awesome home kitchens. We chatted about Tex-Mex cuisine and Mexican rice and or Spanish rice. Two of my favorite things, tomatoes and rice brought together. We chatted about changing genres, playing gigs. We finished up with chatting about VR headsets, which I have a friend of mine in Vancouver who actually used that to kind of get out of his space as well. So if there's anybody out there who's kind of just itching, but you want to play it safe, maybe try a VR headset. I haven't tried one myself, but I hear they're great. And then the EP, Before You Drown.
Yep.
Two tracks are available on YouTube. So in today's show notes, there is a link to the band's Facebook, facebook.com/junction28band, as well as a link to the videos for Suffocate and Don't Say. I imagine this episode will air probably late October, if not early November. I imagine the EP will be available for everybody wherever they consume music.
Yeah, and we've also got, hopefully we'll have the next single out by then too.
Okay, beautiful. If it's available and there's a link to a video, then it will also be in today's show notes. So, boys, that concludes my questions. Thank you so much for coming on to First Class, as we can see. I hope First Class was, good for everybody. And thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks very much.